chain sales rep. And she's like, I'm done with you. I found out what real dick feels like. I found out what real men are. She goes and finds a real man. Don't cry on the stage about how all fucking women are hoes. Because quite frankly, you just can't stack up. I mean, again, you're just a feckless little boy who cries for mommy and daddy to bail him out. Because you can never be a man. I get it. I feel bad for you. Maybe you should turn gay. Maybe you should stay sucking Diogenes' dick.
Okay, hold on. I have to chime in. Keegan, would you like to respond to these claims that your wife is getting digged down by the Africans?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, what Bradley, of course, is saying is not true. And he, of course, wants to show any evidence he can. Now, Bradley is claiming that he never said those things about my daughter. I'm deciding right now, at 3 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Time, Standard Time, I will be hosting the recording of Brad saying that he would like to have sex with my daughter. I'm sorry, I don't want to advertise my own room mojo. Of course, I'm not trying to do that.
Dio, hold on.
Go ahead.
You guys are interrupting my fucking lunch. I'm going to get cranky here. I'm not comfortable with what you or Brad is doing here. You guys should leave the families out of it. You guys should quit trying to dox each other. You guys should just get a little bit more mature about this. Look, Dio, I think anybody that's ever been on the app that knows you knows what a piece of just shit you are. But nobody should be talking about your family. I don't know if that's true. I don't care if that's true. The bottom line is you're not going to bring that shit into this room because that would be violating rule number 9. Thank you.
I completely agree.
Running right now. There's a poll running right now.
Wait, hold on.
I have the proof. Who's doing it? I have the proof. I brought the proof.
Hold on. So we're gonna move on from the family slurs and the wife drama.
Of course.
So let's just leave. We're done.
Well, real quick though. Again, Brad brought my name up. I did not bring his name up, right? Again, I was not on stage doing that. Brad brought my name up, said that my wife was, of course, having sex in Africa. I never brought up his daughters in any recordings whatsoever. I never have. I never brought up Brad's family. Again, Brad has, not me. But this is what we do. I think that sometimes we play this game where we say, listen, what Brad is doing, everyone does. Well, no, Bradley does something completely different than most of us, which he does threaten us physically and threaten violence upon our families. But then again, tries to play this weird. And Mojo, I know that maybe my opinions that I hold on certain subjects you maybe disagree with, but again, I don't feel like I've treated you or Nye or even other people on this app the way that Bradley, even just now, kind of have shown you. Again, I'm just calling out the bad versions of us as individuals. We show each other the worst versions of ourselves at times, right? And Bradley shows the worst version of himself consistently over and over again. And one of those times, yes, it was the threat of sexual violence upon my child, who is 2.5 years old. It was not about her joining OnlyFans. It was truly about him having sex with her in a way that was gruesome and violent and terrible. So I wish Bradley would apologize, of course. Again, Bradley, you know I've never spoken about your daughter.
Hey, I think you're in the Matrix a little bit. Here's the thing, though, Keegan. You're in the Matrix a little bit. Hold on, let me just say something really quick. Oh, you could hear us, so it's just me? Yeah. Keegan, if you didn't land, go ahead and land.
Yeah, here's my final thought, which is that, again, let us enjoy the troll aspect of this app. I do enjoy it. But at the same time, if individuals want to claim masculinity or stoicism or some form of version of that, they should be held to the standard that they consider themselves of that.
By $400 billion per year and bring down our national defense budget to $600 billion a year.
Said, I came and protected you, Ann, because I know that that's wrong. But then he did it to me, so he doesn't actually hold any form of virtue because he breaks his rules whenever he sees fit. It's not a man of his word. That's what Diogenes also probably agrees as well. So that's all I have to say. And I appreciate this message. Let's not misunderstand. It's sad. And it hurts. It really does hurt.
Yeah, leave people's kids out of it. Okay, wait, now Dianages, is that how we say your name? Dianages?
However
just gonna call you D. Here's the thing. We don't want to fight, D. So if you want to fight with Brad, can we not do that right now?
No, I don't want to fight either, and I honestly, the only time that it has ever become a fight and not a discussion is as Dio, the one above me, was just saying, when you put Brad into a position where he has to face the things that he said, he gets triggered in the most, typical way and begins to say very out of pocket, aggressive and disrespectful things. He brings wives, children, friends, family. He brings everything in there, and you don't have to say anything about anything else. He's going to do it. And why? Because he's angry. I wanted to bring the proof. This is one of many recordings that exist of Brad where he is absolutely unrestrained and threatening to kill, threatening to beat, threatening to rape. I mean, and we're not talking about saying, I'm going to fuck you up. We're talking about, I'm going to put my penis in your asshole. So, and I want to be clear. I don't want to fight. I want to agree with Keegan's sentiment here. And what I had hoped when I first came onto the application is that this would be a good place to share ideas and meet people. And while we do appreciate, some of us have things to lose. Some of us have situations where we don't trust others because if we expressed ourselves, they would try to cancel us or hurt us in some way. Brad proves the reason for that. I would hope that we could be people who do what we say we're going to do. And I would like to be held to that standard. I've apologized to people on this application because I wanted to be held to that standard. I've come into this room and apologized to people that I was upset with because I want to be held to that standard. And so all I'm asking is that we consider the facts. And the facts are Brad did wager. Brad did the wager. And he should pay that money. He should be held to pay. He should be held to his word. I want to be held to my word. Sometimes I fail, and the people around me have to remind me. And sometimes I try to run from my duties and my obligations. But I'm less of a man when I do that. And I shouldn't respond with anger. And I shouldn't respond by losing my temper. I do like to lose my temper performatively because I think it's funny, but it's not because I want to fight. And at the end of the day, if anyone wants proof of my military service, if that's the difference for you, let's go ahead and arrange that. At no point in any of the insane, vulgar, and unhinged ramblings that issued from Bradley did I not entertain every proposition he made for collecting the debt that he owed me. And it even offered him on multiple occasions monetarily.
You need some new material, Diogenes.
I don't need any new material. All right? I offered him multiple opportunities to get off that highway he'd gotten himself onto by running his mouth. I said, listen, Brad, if you don't have the money, you don't want to pay the money, there's some concern there. How about you just issue an apology? And then you know what he did?
Don't quit your day job.
He said, fuck you. He said he engaged in vulgarities. He engaged in profanities. He engaged in graphic descriptions of the ways he wanted to hurt me. He wanted to hurt my wife. He wanted to hurt my loved ones. He wanted to hurt people that I cared about.
Hold on, one mic. Listen,
all right.
I hate that we can't have a clubhouse duel. I hate that we can't have a clubhouse duel between these men who are at war, and then we can bet on who would emerge.
I agree. And I have.
This is a ridiculous waste of time.
I have told Bradley the original proposition when Brad said that he would not pay the money. The original proposition was made that we should have a match where we have a sanctioned fight so that neither party can claim that they were being assaulted or battered under the state laws because they don't provide for mutual combat regardless. The only way to fight is to have sanctioned fights at gyms. I said we should do that. We can actually settle this. Since you want to hurt me.
Hold on. The city of Seattle, which is not far from where I live, actually does allow for mutual combat. So if you guys want to come to Seattle, we could videotape it and we could stream it. What do you guys think?
Okay, I'll try to plan that, but I'm going to stick to what did happen, which is that he told us where he was. I told everyone where I was. We saw the halfway point was somewhere in Tennessee, and we agreed that would be fair. That if the issue for Brad was that he didn't want to pay his debt unless he had an opportunity to physically hurt me, that I would provide that in a sanctioned environment, but he would have to agree that he would sign the documents agreeing that he did make the bet, he did have to pay me the money, and then I would happily engage in consensual combat with him, sanctioned in a way that neither of us could claim that either party assaulted or battered the other person or attacked them or anything like that. And again, I see Sig, running his fucking mouth in the chat. Guess what, Sig? Brad doesn't do what he says he's going to do, so it'll be a cold day in hell before the man who ran his mouth and bet me money he won't pay me tells me he's not going to assault me, or tells me he's not going to cry to the police if he gets the bad end of that fight, because he absolutely is untrustworthy. All right, so I have something to lose. Brad probably comes onto the application and runs his mouth because he has nothing to lose. Because there's no one that loves him, that relies on him, that depends on him for being brought up and taught the ways of the world. He just runs his fucking mouth because no one would care if he died in an alley somewhere in a fight with some stranger he met on the internet over $1,000. Shut your mouth, JB.
Shut your mouth. Okay, all right. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you for the thing. Thank you for the opportunity.
Here's what I would like to know, ladies and gentlemen. I just have one question. If anybody can honestly just help me understand, why do we go into rooms and spaces and stages with people we don't like? If you don't like certain speakers and certain personalities, why don't you just block them? Why do you engage with them? Why do you come into their rooms? Why do you open private rooms to talk shit about them? Can somebody help me understand why y'all entertain and interact with people you don't like and go on stages and fight with them?
Yes, it's because only somebody who makes you feel uncomfortable in your own skin can make you a better person.
Well, that's kind of
Thank you, Yogi. Yeah, Steve.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to jump in, Steve, real quick. I just wanted to let everyone know that at 4:20 Eastern time, which we're approaching, we're going to read. It's going to be a book reading. And what I'm going to do is keep people on the stage that want to participate in the book reading. Who's doing the thumbs down? Who did that? Don't let me catch you. Not while I'm promoting the book reading. It's weird. We're going to read. I understand that not everybody on this stage is a book reader, but as John likes to say, it is the oldest and the best external hard drive. It's a word called books, and we're going to continue reading from this book. It's a good book. It was fun reading through it. Some of you that were reading were on the stage. They're on the stage today. We welcome everyone that wants to participate. You will be called upon to read out loud, but everyone's welcome to participate. You will not be able to interrupt, though. It's going to be a different type of room. It's going to start at 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. And if you or John, if you guys want to post in the chat or up above, you get the reading material. And correct me if I'm wrong. We left off on verse 49. Is that correct?
Ooh, I thought it was lower than that.
No, it was about that. It was right up in there.
I think we left off on verse 49. I remember feeling a particular kind of way because it wasn't exactly 50. So it was either 48 or 49. Anyhow. All right. Hopefully you guys are feeling better. Got a little anxiety out of the system, I welcome you guys to come and read. Steve, I hope you could stick around for the book reading. I think your voice would be great in reading out loud. That would be amazing. Holly, I believe you know how to read. Jebediah, you've heard of books. You're welcome to stay. You're all welcome to stay. You're all welcome to participate.
Yeah, it's called the Tao Te Ching, written over 2,300 years ago. It's the second most translated book in human history. You're gonna love it. If you've never experienced the Tao, you can become the Tao by reading the book about the Tao. Instead of arguing endlessly about things and having heated discourse and road raging all the time on this app, try to read a book. You might like the experience.
Oh, and by the way, we will be doing a, what do we call it? Rational discussion group. That'll start right after the book reading. We will be opening a room. 150 is Eastern for those that need the conversion. Thank you.
You know, I will say.
If anybody's joining, Joe, sorry, I just want to let them know that I added the PDF link at the top. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, you've experienced Clown House up until now, but until you read a book with other people on this stage and you actually create something together, you really have no common bonds or desire to even like each other. But at least you can remember that experience of reading the Tao Te Ching with that person and, educating yourself. So, in retrospect, when you ask yourself if it was worth it to be here for 5 years arguing and screaming and raising your blood pressure versus reading a book, you may realize that you are your own worst enemy. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I am complete.
Hey, in the effort to piss Roger off, everybody in the room who don't know me and Roger was racing in the swim match. I'm really bad. But if no one believes it, please show up and bring your money. So y'all can be shocked, just like Roger would be shocked and dismayed.
I will be wearing a onesie bathing suit for this event.
I might lose, man. I just might lose every time I hit a fucking onesie bathing suit.
What's the problem with Speedo? Are they out? They're not popular anymore?
I will say this about Akima, my personal experience, when he loses a bet, he pays up immediately.
Thanks for telling everybody you beat me in the bet, Steve, but thanks for vouching.
I didn't say what the bet was or what I won. No problem. You mess with me anytime you want.
Just for the record, I bet it on Kamala, you bet it on Trump. I lost. Clearly, I lost.
Oh, I hate that you made that bet. It was so obvious she was going to lose. But God.
Well, to be specific, it would be that Trump would win by more than 100 electoral votes. That was the bet, and I won.
That wasn't the bet, Steve. The bet was just a straight up bet. You probably made it with somebody else. No, it was a straight up bet.
I'll take your word for it. And also, it would be remiss of me to say that the other person I had a bet with was JB. I won't say what the bet was, but he lost and he paid me immediately also.
Well, I lost to you and Anthony. And paid both of you.
I offered to bet anyone that would take the bet, predicting that Trump was going to win. And the 3 different people took that bet, and all 3 of those people paid up. They didn't pay me cash. They all donated to my favorite charity, and they gave me a screenshot to prove it. So some people do pay their bets.
So PTR, I updated my profile. That's the 49th verse in this 150-page document of the Tao Te Ching that we will be reading from in 8 minutes.
Yeah, and for those of you that are not familiar, and Anson, welcome. After the book reading, immediately following the book reading, we'll be opening a separate room in the Rational Discussion Group. And we don't even have the title yet, although we've kind of noodled around the topic. I will be sending private messages to those involved in the Rational Discussion Group. So Anson, please check your back channel soon. And so just stick around. We're going to have programming all day.
With a cast of characters, no doubt.
That's why I came in. I couldn't figure out what was going on with the 4 o'clock rational thinking room. So I'll hang around and see what happens.
Yep, you got it. We're going to do a little book reading here in about 7 minutes, and then that'll flow right into the Rational Discussion Group. And for those that don't know, the Rational Discussion Group, we open the room at 1:50 Pacific time. And the reason we do that is we want to allow people to get in there, so then we can open the room and have a discussion that starts at 2 o'clock sharp Pacific time. And we leave the chat open, unlike some discussion groups. Thank you.
What are we reading today? before the rational thinking room.
Oh, John, this is your territory.
So if you click the link above, you will get a PDF, and it's called the Tao Te Ching. It's written by Lao Tzu in ancient China. It's about governance, philosophy, psychology, wisdom, mysticism, philosophy. I think you're going to love it if you've never heard it or read from it. It's the second most translated book in human history.
Yeah, there were some interesting takeaways from yesterday's reading. Hopefully we get a similar crowd that we can build upon. And when we're done with this book, we'll pick new books. The second book that we'll be doing is The Art of War. So we're gonna get through a lot of things. Eventually, we'll get to Twilight. We're noodling on the idea of reading out loud Huck Finn, just to challenge the sensibilities of certain people. But yeah, we're gonna be reading a lot of things. Very good.
John, do you already have a curated list of books you want to go through on Clown House?
Well, I don't want to get ahead of anything here. I would love to see, a room dedicated to actually just reading one book.
I would love to get us to all read Common Sense by Thomas Paine. It's a very short read, but it's a very important read. It's quite literally what led to the revolution. I don't know why Bima would give me the fire. Thomas Paine was the one that started the revolution that led to the United States of America. And as an anarchist, I can't believe that you're in support of that, but it's okay. All right, people, who's going to be reading? Because if you're not going to read, I'm going to gently move you to the audience. If you plan on participating in the reading material can be found up above in the link. All you have to do is click on it. We will start. John kicks us off. He will read 5 verses, and then we will go to the next reader. And we will do this for 30 minutes, and then we have to jump over to another room. So we'll do 30 minutes of reading, starting in about 3 minutes. John will get us started on verse 49. And again, anyone that wants to participate, feel free. We're losing people that don't like to read. Okay. Hopefully the people that are... Listen, if I call on you and you don't read, it's going to be hell to pay. We do not need that kind of noise up in here. Let's see. Holly, you're in for reading? Holly,
Yeah, sure, I'll read.
Okay. Myth, do you know how to read? Myth, do you know how to read? Myth going once, myth going twice, myth going to the audience. Dima, I don't know if you do read a lot, but you know how to read, right?
I don't have any comprehension skills, but I can read words. I know how to sound them out.
Perfect. No, that'll work. You'll fit in perfect. Angel, you're a reader, correct? Angel, don't disappoint me, girl. Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Guys. I was talking to somebody else. I was listening, but I really wasn't listening. Sorry. I'll talk to you. Okay.
Are you gonna help us read today?
Yeah, I'm off at 5. What time? You said this starts at 4:30 or 2 minutes?
We're gonna be reading in 2 minutes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I could do a little bit here and there.
Okay, perfect. And Hakima is a reader. Brad, you're gonna stick around and read? Bradley.
Sure. What do you want me to read? The link at the top?
Link at the top. We're going to start in 2 minutes. John's going to kick. The verse is 49 that we will be starting with. John, actually, just so we can keep it symmetrical, can you read the first 6 and then everybody else will read 5? That way, so just take us from 49 to 55, and then we'll pick up, and we'll do it in PTR order. Got about 1 minute left. Perfect. Glad people are sticking around. Again, if anybody wants to get up here and read, that would be great. All right. John, go ahead. Take it away, sir.
Okay, so I like to, think about this as like a meditation. So, take the deepest breath of the day, hold it for 10 seconds. This is the 49th Tao. The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She is also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind, no resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back in life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body. Let circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to all beings, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back to the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side paths. Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. When rich speculators prosper, while farmers lose their land, when government officials spend money on weapons instead of cures, when the upper class is extravagant and irresponsible, while the poor have nowhere to turn, all this is robbery and chaos. It is not in keeping with the Tao. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself. He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. The master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results, thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus his spirit never grows old.
All right, that was good. That was good. I'm gonna go. It's like it started 56, I believe. Let me get there. Hold on. When I unmuted myself, I clicked myself out of the link. Sorry for the delay, guys. Okay. Those who know do not talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth. Block off your senses. Blunt your sharpness. Untie your knots. Soften your glare. Settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law, and people become honest. I let go of economics, and people become prosperous. I let go of religion, and people become serene. I let go of all desires for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. If a country is governed with tolerance, the people are comfortable and honest. If a country is governed with repression, the people are depressed and crafty. When the will to power is in charge, the higher the ideals, the lower the results. Try to make people happy, and you lay the groundwork for misery. Try to make people moral, and you lay the groundwork for vice. Thus the Master is content to serve as an example, and not to impose her will. She is pointed but doesn't pierce, straightforward but supple, radiant but easy on the eyes. For governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is the freedom from his own ideas, tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view and makes use of anything. Life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him because he has let it go. He can care for the people's welfare as a mother cares for a child. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. I'll stop there, and we'll start, Nye, if you can start at 61.
Okay, when a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his flaws as the most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people, hold on, I gotta scroll down, and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find, and when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. Act without doing, work without effort. Think of the small as large and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great. Thus, she achieves greatness. When she runs into difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort. Thus, problems thus problems are no problem for her. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost right. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature.
Awesome. Brad, you want to jump in at 66?
Give me a second here. What do you want me to read? Chapter 66? All right, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it power. If you want to govern people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her because she competes with no one. Because she competes with no one can compete with her. Did you need me to go on?
Yes, please. If you could read to number 70, that'd be great.
Oh, shit. All right. Wow. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach. Simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts. You return to the source of being, patient with both friends and enemies. You accord with the way things are, compassionate toward yourself. You reconcile all beings in the world. The best athlete wants his opponent to at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this, they are like children, and in harmony with the Tao. Okay. The generals have a saying, rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There is no greater misfortune than understanding your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus, you destroy your 3 treasures and become an enemy yourself. With 2 great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield.
All right, let's Brad stopped at 69. Hakima, you want to start with 70?
I thought you said to stop at 70. Did you need me to go on?
Yeah, you went through 69, did you not?
Yeah, I did 69. You stopped at 70.
Okay, that's fine. Hakima, go ahead and give us the next 5.
My teachings are easy to understand, easy to put into practice. Your intellect will never grasp them. And if you try to practice them, you fail. My teachers are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? to know me, look inside your heart. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is disease. First realize that you are sick. Then you can move toward health. The master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. The master steps back. The people want you without what happened. The Tao is always at ease. It overcomes without competing, answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. It never covers the whole universe, and though it meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. If you realize that all things change, there's nothing you would try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there's nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's plate. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you will cut yourself.
All right, very cool. Angel, can you pick up where he left off?
75, right?
Correct. Yeah, just and why don't we do this, because we've got a few people up. Just read 3, then we'll go to B Master. Just read 3 of them, and then we'll go to B Master.
Just 3, okay. Okay, gotcha. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too instructive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and faint. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like bending of a bow. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward. The bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think that she is better than anyone else. Am I stopping there?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
B Master, you want to pick that up? B Master, you with us?
Sure.
Perfect. Give us 3.
Okay. Hold on, I had to close it out. I gotta go back to it. Okay. To unmute myself. Nothing in the world. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet, for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart, because he has given up helping. He is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. Bullshit, I'm just kidding. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Ooh. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. Ah. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. You want me to, I think that's 3.
Bima, what number?
81.
Okay.
Are you reading next, Monica?
The words? Oh, I was.
Okay, sorry.
True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating. The master leads. Would you like me to read the notes?
Sure.
Okay, well, that's a lot of notes. I can do chapter 1.
I don't think you have to read the notes.
Okay.
Just go to the next
That's it?
chapter. Yeah.
No,
We're reading 3 each.
that's it.
And now it's on the chapter now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're through those verses. So why don't we just take this opportunity? We got about 9 minutes before the next room starts, and let's just talk about what we've read.
I think the Tao would be an anarchist, reparationist.
Yes.
And I also feel like it was written for today. Like it don't feel like it's written on the.
For a while ago, I agree with that
something.
sentiment. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment.
Wait, you think the Tao that inspired communist China is anarchist?
Yeah, that would sound. It sounded like it.
Phenomenal. John, what do you think? It sounded to me like it's not making a position. It's actually, the lesson is supposed to be that.
If you're right, you're wrong, and if you're wrong, you might be right. It's more of just letting go and just letting things be, which also means, the idea of getting rid of government is just as wrong as creating a more powerful government. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very smart book. And so it's so universal that I'm not trying to offend you, Hakima, but I think people project onto it what they want to see. And the unfortunate reversal of your position, Hakima, or people who believe that it's an anarchist book or communistic book, it's a governance book. So whoever is rising to power or in power will utilize the wisdom to manage the situation. But some people will just come on social audio, complain about it, but they read it. So it's a very smart book. I would encourage you to read it a couple times and try to really ingest it, because what it does is it creates a large language model, and it's a lot of, positions and words. It's what they call a book. But again, it's a very smart book. And one of the reasons why it's so smart is because so many people have read it. It's global. So if you could master this book and you could master the Bible, you are now a subject matter expert who can have intelligent conversations about these topics that hopefully edify and lift you up in, power and health and wealth and love. So that's my opinion.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, you can go. I was just gonna say, I'm like in the middle of like my work day, so I'm like trying to rush through, what you guys are reading. I'm looking, I'm listening, and I'm like, oh, maybe I might want to read this one.
No, I'm gonna say, John. No offense taken though, but I think most people are gonna apply things personal to them. But you're definitely right. That book needs to be read a couple times to get it. Because the book is saying a lot. It's not just saying I'm an anarchist. It's saying way more than that. You know what I'm saying? And not that definitely. It's not definitely saying that. It's a good read.
Well, I think it forces you to look in. Hold on, Angel. I'll say this really quick. It definitely forces you to look in and reflect. That's it. That's all I want to say. It's a very reflective read.
I love that the part that Dina wrote was exactly what her life looks like.
Right?
I thought that was so cool.
I missed the part about a bag of dicks.
Oh.
I don't understand what.
It was a pot shot for me. It's okay. Yeah. Anything else, Monica? I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
No, like it was delightful to hear your excitement when it talked about roosters. And you have a farm kind of like situation.
Wait, I think Angel wanted to speak too. Angel, go ahead, Angel. I had to cut you off. I'm sorry if you're there.
I was going to say that I would like to do a combination of this book and the 48 Laws of Power. Kind of read them simultaneously. You know, if I could run through maybe a chapter each, I'd like to see how that goes.
Oh, sorry. Just to comment on how short the book was. Go ahead, Dina.
No, I just wanted to say I'm trying to remember. I saw this thing where if you want to remember something, you make like little games to remember it, and I don't remember where, but the things that I took from it, I remember. I said to myself, remember the spicy, and it was SPC, and it's simplicity, patience, and compassion, right? To remember those things. I thought, oh yeah, I really like that. Simplicity, I think it was simplicity, but it's S. Simplicity, patience, and then compassion. And then I loved the part that I started on because people always tell me this, well, specifically my love, every time I get upset and I say like, look, this is all effed, this is messed up, and he'll ask me in the moment of like despair and frustration, he says, what's the opportunity? And I love that his mind started. It's just like failure's an opportunity. You know, like look for the opportunity. Because as soon as you're starting to blame somebody, then it's just going to be an endless blaming thing. And then the fact that you could be just so content in what you have, and everybody just enjoys everything to like all of this. It's so beautiful. It felt like I felt that peace, and I just thought that was so cool. The other thing was the spicy that I wanted to remember, and then there was something like the compassion, something in humility. Yeah, I thought they were such great. Oh, the rigidness, to remember not to be rigid, because rigid is just, you're just going to break, right? But if you can be flexible and adaptable, that's what's like life-giving, and it speaks life. And that was inspiring for me. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? That's a great, instead of being frustrated and being like, okay, no, I didn't get my way, you know? But then it's like, wait a second, if you flow and you could just like have this flow with, I just thought that was so cool. Yeah, so it was like this softness, so being gentle and pliable, and being able to just flow. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things I'm looking, but yeah. So great.
I see. Does somebody want to post the link above for the discussion group, the rational discussion group?
We cannot. We're not mods.
Oh, I can change that, darling.
I was going to say. Please, you took the words right out of my mouth.
There you are.
Okay, I'll be back.
This is the first time that I've ever come into the space and you guys are reading.
We started it yesterday. It's a 2-day tradition.
Wonderful. I'm glad glad I'm not.
Can I ask, how did people feel, reading or listening to a wisdom book versus listening to road rage conversations? Like, what do you think might be better for your mental health or mental diet? It's just a question I'm asking.
I like a healthy mix of both. A little chaos, a little drama, a little intellect.
I actually like that right before it, we had the crash out room. And so then we read, and now we're going into the rational discussion group. I feel like we're giving people a little bit of each. They want all of these things. But as we learned yesterday, you can't eat your cake and have it too.
Well, one of the things that I've kind of taken an observation of this application is that people do have some valid grievance, right? And I think, unfortunately, there has yet to be a space that has been created that kind of gives way to solution-based opportunity. I just think that I loved whoever mentioned it earlier, like, most of the things that we're hearing about that are, problematic, chaotic, and the drama and whatever have you is stuff that it's outdated. It's old stuff that people have somehow found a space within themselves to harbor, these feelings, these emotions, these whatevers, and that's why, before I was like, I wish that, hurt people would heal. And I think that there would be an opportunity for, thank you very kindly. I think that there would be some opportunity.
All right. Well, Link is in the Jumbotron. We're transitioning over to the rational discourse room.
We'll have a conversation. We've got until 2 p.m. Pacific time to start the chat. We just like to start this a little early because it gives people a head start. So people that might have been thinking about going into the room that doesn't have chat would be persuaded to come to our room. So let's bring people up. Let's see. Waiting for our friend Anson. Give me a moment. I'm going to set up a poll. You guys talk amongst yourself. Don't get too deep into the topic because I want to kind of hold off until Anson and others get here, and then we'll keep going.
Hey, Brad, I really enjoyed your reading of that book. It's one of my favorite books. I thank you for reading it. And I think that when a lot of people heard you, reading from a book, everybody was, titillated. Let's just put it that way.
I actually read more than I ever watch TV. I have a massive library with thousands of books. I'm actually a collector of books. So I'm not a big fan of this, a lot of the philosophical books that you enjoy. I'm not a big fan of this one because I think it has a lot of constructs that are not relevant to the world, and I think it just uses a lot of hyperbole to say, hey, we could just be better, but in reality it takes none of the constructs from everyday life and applies them.
Friends in the group.
I also think that it's balanced to read, and that most of the people, most of the people don't understand the interpretation. It's been revised in multiple languages, and just like the Bible, it has phrases and translations that are taken out of context or what others have applied, even in the book you have. I think Lewis highlights this most of the depth. I might have the book title wrong, but I think it's the Green Book. In his review of the title, he highlights some of those more prominent narratives. John, so I mean, it is what it is, but I've never been a big philosopher
fan, because usually those are people that are writing about a moral high ground, usually from a place of comfort, and usually from a life that is provided for them, and they don't really truly go out and experience the world. Similar to Marx, he was always cared for by somebody else. He lived off of a rich friend, and I don't take a lot of what they say seriously.
I just want to welcome people. We do have about 6 minutes before we officially kick this stuff off, but we got an interesting topic. We got a poll up top if people want to respond to it. Topic of the room: should Ukraine give up land to Russia? The choices are not one single inch. If it saves lives, sure, or it belongs to Russia. If you've got other thoughts on that, you can put those in the chat. If you want to talk about this topic, go ahead and raise your hand. We're gonna just kind of keep some small talk going until it's time to get going. Once we hit 2:00, I'll let my friend Anson here just kind of get us started with his initial thoughts on what he thinks about the topic. But let's just have a little bit of small talk, and I'll let you guys know at 2:00, and Anson will get us kicked off.
Just to clarify for me, Roger, that tax thing is off the table for today, or did I get the date wrong?
It was supposed to be today, but Alan didn't message me, so I don't know exactly what happened with that. It might have happened while we were crashing out in the other room, so we may have missed it.
Okay.
Because Alan had popped into that other room, and then he disappeared, so we may have missed it. Oh, we got Abby here. Hopefully she comes up. That'd be great.
I'd like to give a little bit of a reminder for hydration. Drink your water.
Or Diet Coke.
Whatever liquid makes you happy.
Abby, you missed some fun rooms earlier. We had a good mix of crashing out and reconciliation. I think some progress was made in that other room. I don't know if you guys agree.
Who were the actors?
Brad was probably the star of the show today. I'm gonna have to say, Brad, were you the star of the show today?
I suppose.
Yeah, Brad was in Brad form. Let's just put it that way. He was Bradding out.
I'm saluting you, Brad, from here.
Okay, we got a few minutes. We're going to let some people pile in. I'm going to send out some invites so we can get the room populated. Abby, you've been missing our reading rooms. We've been reading out loud to each other, and we got through a book over the last couple of days. We're going to start doing this every single day, but I think you would be a welcome addition there. Be nice.
Are you reading like Lady Chatterley's Lover, or like what are we reading?
John, would you like to share?
Is John here?
Yeah, we read Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, ancient Chinese philosophy book about the Tao. It's about governance, philosophy, wisdom, mystical approach to dealing with complexities. Some critique was that it's the inspiration for the communist revolution and that it's actually an anarchical book. But I do think in Saul Dialinsky's book, he also references it in Rules for Radicals. So I think it's an important, document to study because it's useful in terms of either knowing the enemy or knowing yourself. So that's the book we completed today. It took us 2 days to read it.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, it sounds like it's knowing your enemy, the art of war.
That'll be our next book, by the way, Abby.
Yeah, the Rules for Radical. That's an excellent choice.
No, the next book's going to be the Art of War.
Can I add a book to the possible? Since there's so many people, like we used to have them, I don't know if they exist on here, but there's so many people that espouse these grand ideas about anarchy,
socialism. Why not throw Joseph Stalin's book on there? Leninism. Why not?
His daughters, a review of Stalin up there. This will give insight to a lot of how some of those virtue signaling policies lead to the outcome under Stalin.
Yeah, I think Art of the Deal would be another fun one here, just because of the divisiveness around the author. I want to turn this over to Anson. Anson, the topic of the room, should Ukraine give up land to Russia? Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with some initial thoughts? And I like the framing that you do of these conversations, so if you want to do that, that'd be great.
Well, I'm not going to. I want to.
Oh, you muted yourself.
There's a very expensive clock.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I think you're doing the glitch where it mutes you, because you started speaking and then you muted yourself. All right. Well. Okay. Are you back?
I'll.
You may have to leave and come back, Anson. You may have to leave and come back to correct that. There we go. We'll get him back here. And then typically when we do these rooms, Anson just likes to get everybody to agree, is there a problem? And then we kind of go from there with opinions. Anson, go ahead. You're still muted, buddy. All right, I guess we'll get started without him. And when he comes back, we'll welcome him to jump back in. The question for the room, should Ukraine give up land to Russia?
Can you unmute yourself and try to talk it? And again, there you go. I think you're back. Or maybe not. All right, I'm just going to get us started, and then Anson, you'll have to figure out your technical challenges. We'll definitely welcome you once you do. So, should Ukraine give up land to Russia? I think we have to ask ourselves, what is at stake? On one hand, you have a tyrannical leader who is invaded his neighboring country, who's trying to invade a sovereign nation in Europe. And then on the other hand, you have the reality that in order for Ukraine to continue this fight, they're going to have to be highly subsidized by the United States, European allies, in order to continue to wage this war. Now, the people in Ukraine may want to fight, but in order to do so, in order to have a chance, they do need the right weapons in order to sustain the fight. So this brings in lots of questions. I think that it's righteous to fight against these tyrannical Russian bullies. There might be a practical piece though where lives could be saved, and so I think the conversation today is really to figure out what precedent does it set if an invading force could then get land and get the nation that was attacked to surrender land. Is that a wise thing to do? Those are my questions. And Anson, let's see if you're back and see if you got a microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank God.
Okay. I'm not going to vote yet. I want to hear what the room has to say. You're right. There's the altruistic. No way are we going to let Russia get away with it, and we're going to fight until we drive them back to their original borders before 2014, including Crimea. But I don't see how that is possible in any way, shape, or form, other than NATO entering the war, full-scale, conventional war, to assist Ukraine to drive Russia back to the pre-2014 boundaries. So if
and I don't see any conceivable way, other than the collapse of Russia, that we strangle them for so long with sanctions and all the other things. But how long is that going to take? Years, in my opinion, particularly as long as they have the support from China, Iran to a degree, etc. I don't see Russia throwing in the towel anytime in the coming several years. So if the war, if we want peace, Ukraine's going to have to give up land. But if you want to stand on principle, then keep fighting, and God help Ukraine. Because I don't see a way to bring it to a conclusion other than on the battlefield. Did everybody hear what I said?
I think they did. Yeah, let's go ahead and get some thoughts. I'd love to hear, Brad. What do you think of what Ansel laid out?
I think he articulated the problem very well. You've got two choices right now. We're aware that Zelensky has gone through about 92% of his resources and capabilities that he has been offered. No other nation seems to really want to reinforce the lines that Ukraine has tried to do. Their military tactics are subpar at best. It seems that Russia was doing a different time of campaign, and Zelensky bit into it instead of actually, utilizing, various other operations to expel Russia out of their territory. They've also faced some constraints from European nations as well as the U.S., particularly under Biden, about some of the tactics they wanted to take. And despite some of the tactics that they did take, it still has not relented with Russia. Zelensky now is in forced conscripts. He's waived a lot of, quote, Ukraine constitutional, end quote, powers. He's removed those from the country at large. You have ongoing protests, which the citizenry does not seem to be happy with a lot of his decisions. We have questions about where the aid is going. Right now, I would, due to the Ukraine's ability, you've lost. I don't know how to put it simply, unless the U.S., NATO, European nations are willing to put boots on the ground, and the only nation that I think was willing to really truly do that was Poland at the time, until some stuff went awry on between Ukraine and Poland, particularly over the agricultural treaty and some of the weapons. I don't see where Ukraine comes out on top. My one thing would be, how much are you going to lose by currently? And right now, this territory is significant. They're sitting over a lot of reserves. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of opportunity for Ukrainians. However, you just do not have the capabilities to resist them. And your problem was just believing that the U.S. was going to be there at your defense should this happen. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that you fell for it, but the U.S. is not going to put boots on the ground to go fight this war against Russia. They're not prepared for it. We're not capable of really taking on that conflict right now. We're tired. We're sore. We're angry. And we have too many domestic issues that we really want to focus on, rather than having our young men and women engaged in a war with the likes of Russia for the next 20 years. So, honestly, right now, to save what they have left as a civilization, I would sue for peace. I would relent to the terms and go back. You just don't have the military means to win this.
So does that mean that anybody that wants to invade someone else, as long as they have the might to do so, that they ought to?
No, I don't think it's on a moral front. This is the problem with wars. Everybody tries to apply a moral stance. It's your country, it's your nation, it's your house, it's your territory. If you can hold it, if you can maintain it. It's your house as long as you can pay the mortgage and the taxes. The minute you can't, someone else takes it from you. So this is the way the world has always been. And the realistic point is, unfortunately for Ukraine, they are caught in a very bad spot. And I don't think it's right of Russia. But at the onset, the U.S. shouldn't have held up weapon systems if they were so worried about it for 6 months. That occurred under Biden's administration. He held back weapons. He held back supplies. He held back things. Europe held back things. They couldn't get on board and decide what they wanted to do. They wanted to play games. And so now you have a horrible deal that's going to be presented to the Ukrainians, and they're going to lose. And if they stay in the fight, I mean, it's a war of attrition. Russia's just bigger. Ukraine does not have the capabilities to go much longer. I would say maybe a couple years. They could probably put up an IRA type style resistance when Russia takes over the territory. But I mean, in the end, the results are going to be the same. Russia's going to come out on top of this. And that's a shame because the U.S. fucked up. We did another Vietnam, except we put it in Ukraine.
Hey, moderators, this is John. If I'm ready to go, if you can put me in the queue.
Yeah, please do. Jump in.
So I use X. My account is in my profile. It's John Kitover IL for Illinois. These are the queries I asked Grok on X Spaces. Hey, Grok, tell me the Ukrainian and Russian war casualties with top 10 incidents or battles. Should Ukraine give Russia land for a lasting peace deal? Is Zelensky or Putin an honest, good faith actor? The latest estimates, June of 2025, Russia had 250,000 killed, 950,000 total casualties. Ukraine military had 100,000 killed, 400,000 total in the war so far. Civilians, 13,000 killed and 33,000 injured. The top battles are Bakhmut, Mariupol, Sverdonetsk, Lysychansk, Adviivka, Soledar, Kyiv, Kharkiv, Volodar, Kharkiv Yar. Ukraine shouldn't concede territory. It rewards aggression, and Putin won't honor deals. Putin acts in bad faith historically. Zelensky is more transparent but pragmatic. Then I asked, hey, Grok, tell me the contrarian position of why Zelensky should step down as president and give up land to Ukraine for a lasting peace. This is what Grok says. This is the contrarian view. Zelensky prolongs war by rejecting realpolitik. Russia won't retreat. So conceding occupied Donbass, Crimea, ethnically Russian per polls, saves lives and the economy. His expired term erodes legitimacy. Resignation enables pragmatic successor for honored peace deal, backed by Rubio's Sachs analysis. So that's what AI says.
Here's the best outcome that could happen. We know Putin's not long-lived, John. My best guess is, and I don't know who's going to win in the wings under Putin. It could be I can't say his name, but it could be the fanatical guy that's even worse than Putin. Or it could be an overwhelming sense of the Russian people say, hey, no, this is not going to happen. Or maybe there's some shift. But in reality, accept the terms now and then wait till Putin's dead and then seek pressure to basically get those territories back under Ukraine. That's the best avenue that I see for Ukraine currently. And I don't know if Captain agrees with that.
I'm still waiting to hear somebody to suggest that the moral route is the only route possible, and therefore the war must continue, but with more money, more weapons, more whatever other than boots on the ground from NATO, which would include the United States. Can anybody make a rational argument that will work, and how long will the war last if they make that